City of Stevens Point Police and Fire Commission meeting, recorded August 20th, 2025.
And if we can have roll, please.
Barrett?
Here.
Kirschling?
Here.
Rosick? Here. Pingle?
Here. And Commissioner Zenner is excused along with Chief Moody. There's no reason for him to be here, so he is excused. Number 2, discussion with possible action to approve the police chief's job description and hiring profile and to select dates for the hiring process. All right. The first thing I'd like to say is I had sent out you all have the police chief's job description and the fire chief's job description. After this process is over of hiring the police chief, I think we need to make these more in line with each other. They are different font, they are different setup, they're different. Now is not the time to fix that. The intent today is to get the chief of police, get the job description to where we want it published, and like I said in the last meeting, make any additions, make any subtractions, leave things alone, and we'll have a discussion about it. So with that said, Jason, do you have anything that you saw that?
I have a question. I haven't applied for a job in years, so the salary range starting at $119, but it says please apply with a cover letter, resume reference, and current salary. Is that a requirement? Do we ask what they're making?
We have in the past.
Okay.
It does give the commission a glimpse into potential questions. I know in the past we've had potential candidates making substantially more, and then you would ask the question of, okay, why Stevens Point?
Yeah, okay, that makes sense, yes.
Yep.
So.
John?
I have no questions.
All right. Do you have any changes? Anything you'd like to see different?
No, everything I read looked good.
Okay. Denise?
I mean, there's definitely, I know we're not going to touch on making changes as far as what we have for the fire department. And
Right.
And I know I was looking at that was revised June 14th, 2021. And we've got this revised, the police department's January of 2025, so that was done recently. And I'm assuming that was done with the chief, the changes?
All the job descriptions throughout the entire city of Stevens Point are completed and done and looked at every single year and updated every year.
Do you feel there's anything that we're missing here on the overview of the position?
No, there's not.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you think we need to mention, like, you'll be interviewed by a commission and maybe a little bit about, you know, do they need the history of, you know?
The advertisement. I have to reread this. It's I don't see that in here. And I don't have an issue with adding a sentence that all candidates will be interviewed by the Stevens Point Police and Fire Commission, potentially along with other members of the community.
The second sentence says that the position reports to the Optional Powers Commission. I think that might imply that we would be part of the interview process, but we can be more specific.
Well, I think Joe just wants to point out that it's not only us, it's potentially.
could be others,
Yeah,
too.
we can extend this to others, right?
Is
And I-
everybody okay with that language?
Yeah, and I think the one thing that I kind of, looked in and got some clarification on is, I think when we go through this process too, we need to make sure that per State Statute 66.0502, that requires, well, we have, basically, we can impose that they live within 15 miles of the jurisdictional boundaries of the city, village, and town. And the only reason, to kind of look at this, because where I work, there were some issues with people taking leadership jobs that, potentially would require them to be called on after hours, and come to find out they don't live around here. They live down south of, southern Wisconsin. So, we have to know.
So that covers that on page 3.
Right, but we have to, what I'm saying is, I think that's kind of, and when we're going through this process, that also that they're not gonna, we're not gonna have a chief that's gonna be living in,
Beloit.
right. Or, we want them to be within that response time and also connected to, connected to the community too, because of that. So I think that's just one thing that I looked at that we just really need to, when we're going through this process of the candidates that come forward.
Okay. I had a couple of thoughts, and I want your thoughts on it. On page number 2, under section C, special qualifications and experience, I like what it all says. A couple of things that I would like to add is under general attributes, the bullet point number 2, is superior fiscal management experience. That is really, really broad. Really broad. I think something to the effect of prior senior supervisory, fiscal, and administrative management experience with a minimum of 5 years experience. I don't know that a person that just became into a supervisory position 6 months ago, I don't know that that person without any prior experience would be qualified to run the Stevens Point Police Department. My point is the bigger thing is having a minimum years of experience. And I don't think that handcuffs in where we're not gonna get any applicants because of that. I think it's just we're gonna get more qualified applicants. Because we will get applicants that, I remember one year we got someone that had no business applying for, I don't remember if it was the police chief or fire chief, but they were a dump truck driver, and God bless dump truck drivers, they're great, but wasn't qualified.
But what's your thought process on the 5 years for fiscal management? I guess I need to expand upon that, because if somebody is doing that and they're in the role, right? Because what's the magic 5 years to that?
It could be 2 years. I guess I opened it up. I'm just thinking out loud, looking for your thoughts to have some sort of a minimum requirement.
What about language like a proven track record? A proven track record of fiscal management experience, something like that.
And Joe, page 2, are you looking at general attributes, or are you looking at down here, because this is, so you're looking at prior fiscal management experience?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like anything, once we get into this, in the interview process, right, we can have them expand upon that, because, right,
Well, what I'm trying to eliminate is getting 80 applications and then the commission going through 67 of them because they all meet a prior fiscal management experience. I'm trying to narrow it down just a tad. And I don't want to...
Are you looking at, I mean, just looking at minimum qualifications, are you, because they have, and I'm just kind of piggybacking off the fire department, I mean, theirs is very specific, minimum of 5 years as fire chief, assistant fire chief, or senior staff person in this or another department. So are you looking to maybe, take like people who have been in supervisory roles versus somebody who's a police officer?
A little more qualifications to be the be the chief.
Right.
Is what that's where I'm trying to go here.
So are we looking to have something along the lines of like in the supervisory role with, a minimum of 5 years in that type of, or senior position, senior supervisory?
Right, well, that's what I had said prior, senior supervisory, fiscal and administrative management experience. And maybe if you wanted to take out the 5 years, and you go with what Jason said with a proven track record, proven positive track record. It's just very, very broad. And we don't talk about anything else, any other minimum, anything, anywhere. So that's what I'm trying to wrap around.
I get your point. Like, it's almost like it should be like departmental fiscal man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could interview and say, I'm really fiscally responsible. Let me show you my credit score. But I think I know what you're saying. Like, there should be more. We should narrow it down to just
something.
Yeah.
The other, I'm gonna leave that one out. Never mind. So, let's see. That was the only thing that I had at this juncture to make changes. One thing I did want to bring up, which I spoke to the chief about, is, I have to find it here. I should have highlighted it. The completion of one nationally recognized law enforcement leadership program is preferred. Chief, if I get this wrong, jump in. One would be Command College, another would be the FBI Academy, and another one would be the Northwest School of, is it Leadership or Command?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Say those again, Command College?
Command College, FBI Academy, Northwest School of Leadership and Command. So I just want to clarify that for the commission, that those would be acceptable. Is there anything else, Chief, that that would be out there that would be acceptable to the commission?
No, those are all nationally accredited, and so that's why those were put in there originally. It is Northwestern, I'm gonna look up the exact title.
Okay.
Northwestern School of Police Staff and Command, SPSC.
Northwestern School of Police and Command?
Police Staff and Command.
Police Staff and Command, okay. correct the record on that one.
Yeah, you know, I want to make sure too, like, I understand your point that we don't want to get in all these applicants, so we want to have, you know, somebody who's got, like you said, supervisory, right? They've got that behind them, that whether it's,
And also, and it shows that we're serious about this. This isn't, this needs to be a qualified person to run the Stevens Point Police Department. They need to be qualified. We're not just, this is very serious. This is one of the major things that the commission is responsible for, is hiring for police and fire. And obviously the chief is at the top. Did Tom Zenner have anything?
He emailed me and he said everything looks good.
All right.
He had nothing further.
Good.
yeah,
So,
and like I said, I just want to make sure, because I'm just thinking like ahead of the candidates that potentially we're going to get in. I mean, yeah, sure, we could get some chiefs who are looking to move over, right?
yeah,
But then there's always the question,
there's obviously AC chiefs that are going to
right,
come.
there's going to be 8.
There may be lieutenants that'll come. There may be, depending on the department, it could be a handful of different.
Right. And that's what
And
I'm saying.
I like all those people
Right.
to apply
Yes.
if they have some experience and they're qualified.
Right. Because depending on, I'm just thinking, you know, depending on how the structures of departments are set up, you know, chiefs are ultimately primarily responsible for the, you know, the budgets for, you know, working through that. I do think that, or I would hope that a lot of chiefs, you know, rely on their ACs or, you know, people below to cross-train on things like that when it comes to budgetary things, right? Because that's always the important plan, too, when you look at departments in general. So I don't necessarily know that I would want to put a year in regards to, you know, you have to have this many years doing this. I like Jason's thoughts, too, of, right?
I'm okay with that. That is
Right,
fine language to
Talk
me.
us through us. Tell us, you know, what you've done. Tell us, right? Because just somebody saying, and even if somebody says, hey, I've got 5 years, well, we're going to need to know way more than that, right? I think if we want to use like the 5-year mark for the senior levels of management, that I'm okay with. You know, senior staff people. Because like you said, you potentially could have,
So you want to take out the years and leave senior supervisory, fiscal, and administrative management experience? Is that what?
I guess I'd probably, I just don't want to get, you know, pigeonholed into something saying that, okay, maybe they're, you know, senior, but they don't have the exact 5 years tied to the fiscal side of it.
Sure, but if what I'd said, but take out the 5 years. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so.
And I'm okay with that.
Because ultimately, they're going to have to explain, right?
Sure.
What, you know, as far as working on the budgets, things that they've done, things, and that, and we're going to have to explore that with whoever we go through the interview process with, that make it to that point.
Sure. Okay. So then, all right, is there any other changes or amendments? What about the hiring profiles? Anybody have anything that they want to change with that? I thought it was written well. I didn't have any changes. Because anything that is missing outside of this advertisement, anybody that's serious is going to look at the job description, and they're going to be able to fill in the blanks. All right. The places that we're going to put the position out on is I Hire Law Enforcement, Indeed, WileyNet. I don't know how to spell WileyNet.
WILENET.
That's good. The city website of Stevens Point. The Wisconsin Chiefs Association site. And then Sandy, did you, following up from last time, did you have a site that you?
The one I usually do, and it's complimentary, it's the legal municipalities. I post all jobs.
The legal municipalities?
Yep.
Okay.
And then somebody said governmentjobs.com. I don't know.
That's NeoGov, that's the city website.
Oh, okay.
Does anybody have any other site that they would like to add, or any other thoughts? All right.
When you guys look for a job, is there any, like, are there any sites that we didn't mention?
Wireless.
It's Wisconsin Law Enforcement Network.
All right, so going back to before we go to dates, I just want to clarify that second point under general attributes on page 2. So we'll say prior senior supervisory, fiscal, and administrative management experience.
Say that again, Joe. Prior senior.
Prior senior supervisory, fiscal, and administrative management experience. Should I say it again, or?
No, I got it.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, we're good with this? All right. We'll make 3 motions, I think, on this, because these are 3 different issues. Now, the dates for the hiring process. We discussed that in the past. Does anybody have any thoughts on what they'd like to see on dates? I know Tom wants to see it out a month. I don't have an issue with a month. So, I mean, if we're out a month, when can we put this out? When would be the soonest?
Probably whenever, as soon as you want.
This afternoon?
Tomorrow morning?
No,
Tomorrow.
I'm kidding. Whenever it's good. You know what? Let's do it on Friday,
Friday, the 22nd.
the 22nd. So do we close it then? September 19th is a Friday? Or do you all want to see it go out to the next week?
I'm good with that.
All right.
Closing on Friday.
You good closing it, September 19th?
That's 4 whole weeks, yeah.
Okay. And then, yo,
I mean, there is a Labor Day holiday in there. Does that matter? You know?
I think if people are interested, they're gonna,
Okay.
word's gonna be out and they're gonna,
it's a good point, Jason. And then Tom and Candy, I guess Tom's not here, so we don't know, but for right now, would have all the candidates vetted by the 26th. That would give a whole week. Is that enough time to just go through and say, all right, they're qualified, they're not qualified, they're qualified, they're not qualified?
I think so.
Okay. And then I think at our September meeting, we'll put it on the agenda to then the commission actually strike that. If you could get copies to all of the applications, once you vetted them, to the commissioners, that would be fantastic.
I do want to have an opportunity, Tom and Candy can vet them, but I do want to have an opportunity to see the ones that were excluded,
Sure.
just because,
Why don't you be part of the process?
I don't,
If you want to.
okay, I just think it's important for all of us, just,
Sure.
double eyes, right? And
Sure.
I think that to you guys too, just to say, okay, here's the pile that wasn't, here's the pile that was, and if there's,
Me too. I mean, I'm curious to see where applicants are coming from too.
yeah, and I
you know.
think it's just, it keeps us as a commission that we're all, you know what I mean, together on this process, because let's just say if there was one in that pile that didn't get put in, that I think we could all, have a, or I should say we could independently look at it and say, here's why I think it should be, or so.
Okay,
I don't necessarily, like I said, Tom and Candy can go through them, but I definitely want to see the exclusion pile.
well, if you want all of them, then we might as well give the commission all of them.
Yeah, let's just.
So then strike the vetting one, the vetting date of the 26th, and after all the applications are in and you have time to get them to the commissioners, then I think what we do at the September meeting, we come up with because without Tom here, I don't want to start talking about when we're going to get together next, because we all need to be part of this. But if we get them the week of the 22nd, I would think the week of the 29th or the week of the 6th, we get together as a commission and we go into closed session. We review each one of them and we start the process. And then what would be nice is then the week of the 13th, if we can start setting up interviews. And those would be phone interviews. And then we'll have questions. They will stay consistent. And we'll narrow the field down. And once we get down to a certain point, what the commission will decide. That point is, I don't know.
So Joe, are you looking at, the week of October 6th through the 10th, that we would have the applications, that we would be reviewing them at that time? Or
That'd be a week and a half, 2 weeks. If we got them, let's say on the 24th and we met October 8th, that would be 2 weeks of being able to go
Well,
through
the only thing
them.
I'm saying is I will not be available that week of the 6th through the 10th. So if we,
Can commissioners get through them in a week? If Candy is able to get them all to us by the 24th, where we'd meet October 1st?
I guess it depends how many we get.
I'm trying to think of how many we've got in the past.
I mean, the last, it's not like it was.
It's not like 80. It's not like 80.
No, it's not a
like
crazy amount, and you're going to be able.
20 to 30?
No, yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our regular meeting is the 2nd, or after that, or would that be too long?
No, that would be fine. If we go into closed session the 2nd, that would work. Does that work for you all? Okay, let's do that then.
And then, can we just go back to the close date on the 19th? Can we put a time on there? We usually put it.
4 o'clock.
4?
Or 3:30. So that if there's any time that you have, or 3?
Sure.
3.
Because if we're going to meet closed session on October 2nd, then that's the first time we're going to lay eyes on everything, correct?
Well, you'll have eyes on
have
it
'em.
You'll
the week
already
of
have
the
copies.
22nd.
So then we're gonna come on the 2nd and say,
And-
basically who we feel should move on to
The
the
interview process.
the first,
Yeah.
right?
And then Candy will call those
Okay.
folks, and you're not gonna be there the 6th week, so.
6th through the 10th.
So the week of the 13th, if we can start
The phone interviews?
starting phone interviews, and these will be multiple phone interviews, and then we'll narrow it down to a handful of candidates that we'll invite here to
Are we doing these
meet
through Zoom?
in person.
Zoom interviews, because that's what we did. Or
I
phone
think
interviews?
just phone. I mean, we can do Zoom. We've done both. I mean, it's. Do you have any preference? Either one of you? I think the first round, let's do phone the first round.
Okay.
And then the second round, we can do Zoom, and then the commission will have to decide from there how many candidates are. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. But then, hopefully from when we start interviews the week of October 13th, that'll give us essentially a month and a half. In my mind, a month and a half, maybe a month and 3 weeks to vet the candidates and hopefully have an offer out. Because what we don't want to do is put an offer out on December 20th and the person is from out of state, or there's some circumstance that they need to see if they can, with their spouse's position, what's going to happen if they have kids. You want to give them enough time if there is an exterior candidate.
So
Because I don't know who's going to apply. I don't know if interior candidates, inside candidates are going to apply from the department within. I don't know if exterior, I don't know what's going to happen. But I'm thinking that the week of December 5th is if we can have, or excuse me, the week of the 1st, if we can put an offer out, would be my goal.
Are we bringing the top so many in for the second interview? What's our plan?
That'd be usually, I would say, the third.
Third?
Yeah, we'll do phone call first, Zoom second.
Okay.
And the third, bring candidates in for a
Person.
And correct me if I'm wrong, is it less than 5? You have to publish the names once it's less than 5 candidates?
I'm not sure exactly.
I think that number's ringing a bell.
There was 3 for me, so I had that.
Yeah. But we don't have to discuss that right now. That's getting down the road. But the point is to give the person ample time to, and you would think that they would, if they're applying, that they would start looking at that, especially if they make it through to the second round. But I know in years past, some people are like, yeah, I don't know if it's serious or not, and then something happens. But I don't want too much time to go by either. So that's why I'm trying to click this along in an orderly fashion. All right, do those dates, everybody good with that? All right, so I want to review them. So we'll publish August 22nd. Close September 19th
At 3 p.m.?
at 3 p.m. Candy will provide us the week of September 22nd. All applicants. All applicants. And then we'll start setting up interviews the week of October 6th. No, back up, October 2nd, yeah.
During the regular meeting? Closed session?
Move that.
So October 2nd, closed session, we're going to
Yeah.
vet who we're going to offer first interviews to.
Right. And then Candy the week of October 6th.
Thought it was the 13th.
Well, just setting up the interviews.
Oh, setting
Just
up.
calling the candidates.
Gotcha.
And then the week of the 13th, phone interviews. And that interview process will go through, I'm gonna just call it the interview process. That's phone, that's Zoom, that's in person. Goes through well, Friday is November 28th, Monday is December 1st. And we can change these dates as needed if we have to. This is just a general outline, so we have some sort of a direction.
The 27th is Thanksgiving, the 28th is Black Friday.
So Joe, are you thinking the week of October 13th that for the phone interviews, are you hoping to have all the phone interviews done within that week? Are you looking to do within the 2-week process, kind of spreading them out? What are your thoughts on that?
As, I don't know how many candidates we're gonna have, so
Okay.
I think we gotta play it by ear. That's what I'm just saying,
Okay.
from the 13th, that is Thanksgiving.
Well, depending on how many we have, right, that
Right.
initial one, and then we're going to all discuss who advances forward.
And we can change this date, but tentatively December 3rd, we'll
The offering.
be offering by December 3rd.
I think Chief wanted to say something. He was at the,
He will.
okay, December 3rd, offer.
Conditional offer. And then I don't know that I want to go too far out from there. Because, I mean, it's, what would be nice is to have some sort of acceptance by, I know you have Christmas and New Year's in there.
The 16th, December 16th.
Well, I don't know if that's enough time. That's all I was saying is, depending on who the candidates are and what they have to do for researching, for living arrangements, for spouses, for potentially kids, potentially spouses. Chief, can you come back up to the podium, please? What is your day again? It's,
January 5th.
okay.
Can you make it like June?
I was just waiting. I was waiting for it. I was waiting. I was waiting.
You know, coincide with school.
What's your ideal time, Chief, to have, because ideally, I think you gave us such an advance notice because you wanted to have an opportunity to kind of, to a degree, mentor the next chief into the role of it.
Historically, one goes out and one comes in,
Correct,
kind
historically,
of like
that's
the
it.
president.
But aren't we doing that for the fire department, or we're allowing the assistant chief?
But that's the assistant chief.
Assistant chief, we do that, correct.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
One of the things I was standing up here to let you know as well, the city does provide relocation expenses for anybody that's willing to take this job as the chief or director or head of department. They will pay for all the expenses for that moving to, if they're going to move to or within the city.
Add that to this?
Yeah.
And so it's policy 1.11, but they will pay for it.
1.11.
Yep. So if somebody's coming from out of state or even outside of Portage County, they will pay the relocation expenses as long as they're moving into the city.
Okay. Does anybody have an issue if we add that to the advertisement? No? Okay. All right.
But,
yeah.
Chief, do you know, is there a limited, is there an amount? I mean, I don't want to put this out there saying that it's,
It says the newly hired or promoted employee in the department head position who elects to live in the city of Stevens Point is eligible for relocation payment. The city will reimburse employee the agreed upon amount from moving their furniture and household goods from the present residence outside of the city to a location in the city of Stevens Point. An employee who voluntarily leaves employment within 1 year of accepting the relocation expenses will reimburse the city in full for relocation reimbursement they receive from the city. Moving costs, the department head will secure 2 estimates for the move. The cost may include packing, crating, transporting, and unloading and unpacking of furniture and household goods. The city normally approves the lower of the 2 estimates.
we could just put relocation expense per policy 1.11.
What I was gonna say is, we'll add the language of relocation with the city, or the candidate shall be reimbursed relocation expenses in accordance with Stevens Point City Policy 1.11.
Perfect.
Getting back to the date of acceptance, is December 23rd out of line? And keep in mind, depending on the amount of candidates, we may have someone in the middle of November. We may have someone very quickly. I'm just thinking about if we do get backed up. Is the 23rd out of line? Or do we want to put that as a tentative date and adjust it as we go?
So December 3rd is, we want to have the conditional offer out there, and then you're saying for their acceptance, we're going to give them till the 23rd to accept, or am I not understanding?
Yeah.
Because that's,
Or what about the 29th? December 29th, that's the Monday before New Year's, or the 30th, December 30th?
so
That
we're
gives
going
an
to,
extra week?
are you looking to have them here, moved here, or are you looking at them, because if we offered on December 3rd, that's, if you're going to the end of December, that's 4 weeks. I mean, I would think if they're applying for this,
You should know.
yeah, technically, when you put a conditional offer out there, it's a much narrower window to say.
I was thinking like 48 hours.
I mean, it's,
I would say 3 to 5 days.
yeah, it's, you don't want to have that extended
Yeah, if
way out there.
they don't accept it, then
Yeah.
we're back at square one, you know.
Then we, look to,
Or you pick the second person in line if they're good too.
I mean, if they're that far along to the 3rd, right, they've made it that far,
They should know.
they
Yeah.
definitely should be like, yay, I've got the job, and,
They shouldn't.
right, where can I
They shouldn't
sign?
drag you along.
Right, I don't like that, to the 31st. I would say, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
technically, like Jason said, technically, it's like, please respond within 48 hours, right?
I would say
You-
48 hours. This is very important that
Yeah, that we get this,
we only have till January 8th for this person to start, you know?
and remember, they started this process anywhere between August and September. So I've had that application in, right?
I mean, this could be a 3-month process.
Yeah.
So,
And if it moves up quicker, but at least this way, they know, offers out there, they accepted it, and, right? They can make plans accordingly then.
Right.
Are you going to email them the offer or via phone or how?
Historically, we've written a letter, I believe.
I think it probably a DocuSign at this point, right?
You want to make sure they get it if you give them a short deadline.
Sure. Yeah, I think
I mean, you could do it.
an email and a phone call, I think, would be,
Followed up with a letter, I think it's
Right.
to cover all bases, and then
Right.
here you go.
yeah, I agree with what you all are saying.
Because we can overnight a letter too,
So December 5th, that's a Friday? Acceptance on December 5th, that's 2 days?
by, what are we gonna do it by 3 PM? We're gonna offer it
Sure.
offer it in the morning of that Wednesday? And that would give them,
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot more sense.
and at the close of, the 5th, if Candy wants to do the 3 PM or,
Sure. All right. Anything else? All right, so I'm gonna make a motion.
Wait, who
Go ahead.
pays for, do they pay their own way for in-service, in-person interviews?
Yes.
They do, okay.
they're serious, they will come.
All right, we're gonna make 3 motions here, because there's 3 different things, and so, as it relates to the hiring profile, which you all have in front of you, that says police chief, we're gonna add that the candidate shall be reimbursed their relocation expenses in accordance with Stevens Point City Policy 1.11. Do I have a second?
Would you say shall or maybe? Because
Well,
they're in the city, there's no relocation costs offered if they're outside the city.
right, but
It's in accord with the policy, but
right, so if they're not in accordance with the policy, then they won't be reimbursed.
Is that policy clear to as far as how many, if you're moving from Rapids to here, are we offering, what, is it clear to?
Very clear, just says outside the city,
Okay.
moving into the city. So they could literally live in Clover and get reimbursement for relocation if they ask for it.
I'm gonna amend my motion. And I'm thinking about adding if the candidate chooses. So the motion is, if the candidate chooses, they shall be reimbursed their relocation expenses in accordance with Stevens Point City Policy 1.11.
All right,
Sound-
I'll second it.
Okay, motion and a second. Any questions or clarifications? All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. The job description. So the only thing that we had discussed adding is on page 2, under Section C, Special Qualifications and Experience. general attributes, bullet point 2. I'm going to make a motion that we're going to change that sentence to prior senior supervisory fiscal and administrative management experience.
I'll second it, Rozick.
All right, we have a motion, a second. Now's the time if you want to see that language changed, or if you're All right, we have a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. And finally, the selection of dates for the hiring process, and I'm going to just go through them. And correct me if I screw it up.
You're just going to make a motion with the following dates.
Yep,
Okay.
I'm going to make a motion with the following dates for the hiring process of the Stevens Point Police Chief. We're going to publish the job on August 22nd, 2025. We're going to close the application process on September 19th, 2025 at 3 o'clock.
PM. 3 PM.
PM. Good catch. The week of September 22nd, 2025, Candy will get all of the applicants, all the applications to all of the commissioners. In our October 2nd meeting, we're going to go into closed session and vet the candidates that are qualified. The week of October 6th, Candy is going to set up interviews with the qualified candidates. The week of, strike that, the week of October 26th, 2025, Candy is going to set up the interviews. The week of October, is it
13th.
Is it the week of October 13th? Because I just wrote October 13th. The week of October 13th, 2025, we'd like to start, or we're going to start phone interviews through December 3rd of 2025, which will give a conditional offer of employment.
Should you change that from phone interviews just to October 13th, we're starting the interview process, and that would include?
Did I not say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you should.
Yeah, we'll start the interview process. So strike the phone interview. I misspoke on that. And then December 5th of 2025, by 3 p.m., the commission will need an acceptance or a denial of the conditional offer. And if we don't hear by December 5th, 2025, 3 p.m., the commission will reserve the right to move on to other candidates. Is that language good? All right, we have a motion.
I'll second that.
All right, a motion and a second. Any other thoughts? All right, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. We are adjourned.
A video of this meeting is available for viewing on the city's website, stevenspoint.com/videos.